bitches on the beat.
Hi, I'm Sandra Gonzalez. And you are who? Who are you?
Damn, she just started right away. Like, hey, I said, okay, hey guys, how are you? Like, I should start. I'm the lead of this thing.
Okay.
Okay.
He's going to pretend to be the lead.
Right.
You guys know I'm in the middle, so I am the lead. Go ahead.
Steven said, let's get a woman's perspective. Okay,
That's right.
Here we are now. Woman's perspective.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm the lead.
go ahead and start over again. Go ahead.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Sandra Gonzalez, and I have my co-host here.
What the I invited her on the show.
Love it.
And all of a sudden, okay, you know what? Love it. My name is Cristian and Steven. I'm the co-host to the lead on this podcast, Sandra Gonzalez. I'm Cristian and Steven.
And I'm Steven, the co-host to the co-host to the co-host.
The co-host, yeah.
So
That sounds good.
no, you okay? Let me make this clear to you.
You
guys.
already made it clear.
Being a co-host means we're all hosts. We are co-hosts.
I thought you said we're all hosts. I was like, we are not. We're not all.
You
we're
might
not,
be a hoe.
We're
but
not all
We're not
hoes.
hoes. Are you
No.
a hoe?
No, I'm not. Not a hoe. Not a hoe at all.
I am not a Navajo, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
So did you get me? Did you get what I said? We are co-hosts all together.
Yeah.
We are hosts of the show. There is not one main person. It's three of us that are co-hosting this lovely show that we're getting ready to start.
Sandra, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Oh, okay, great. I'm doing fantastic too. So, Stephen and I started this little thing last week, and we did what would you call it, Stephen? Like a trial run or a
Try run, yeah.
you call it a pilot?
Pilot show.
Yeah.
Pilot show, see if we got any traction. See if we got anything.
Well, it was like 40 minutes long, but I only put up like a minute, like the introduction. And right now we're up to 247 views. I think I put that up this morning. So
Nice.
we're gonna get some traction on this thing. But I think it's only fair that we start off giving an explanation as to what the show is about. And I'm gonna throw Steven off right now. He's being all techie over there trying to fix things, Mr. Perfectionist. Steven, why don't you tell us, because you gave Sandra a very good explanation or definition of what the show's about.
I think you'd just like to hear about your epiphany that you had, and that's kind of why we're talking about this.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because he has a big head. But let's go ahead and get...
Literally and otherwise.
Yes. I don't know the otherwise. But let's give the co-host of the co-host his due share.
Now I'm confused. Who the hell is the co-host? Like
We're
on
all
the last show that we did, I said, hey, Steven, you're the man behind the man. And right now, like, who's the co-host of the co-host?
As Sandra said, there's nobody here taking a lead. We're all equally. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
You know, I don't want to take the lead. You know, I'm a female.
Alpha female.
I am an alpha female.
Yeah. Really? No way. I would have never guessed that. So do you want to give them a little, what do you call it? Preface?
So we'll preface to exactly what the concept is. So concept was that I had an idea because we were trying to monetize to see what could help people in the long scheme of things. And I said, let's do relationships. Then Cristian said, that's already been played out. Let's do business. Then after a couple shots, couple drinks, maybe a couple
Let me
cigars.
pause you right there. Let me pause you there. I never said it was played out. What I did say is, like, who are we trying to attract? Like, who are we trying to appeal to? Who's our audience? Because I think that's very important. We don't want to just do like a shotgun effect and everyone. And
See who it hits.
yeah, like we want to have a particular demographic, categories. We want a particular audience. And you said we should do something along the lines of like dating advice, singles, and pickup lines and bars,
Coaching. Yeah.
coaching. And I was
Coaching
like,
your relationships.
what did you tell Sandra earlier? You wanted to do that because you're what for what?
Because I'm like hitting home runs now.
No, that's not what you said.
Oh, wait,
You
I said I'm not batting 1,000 right now.
He said, I'm not batting 1,000. And Sandra said, then why would you talk about relationships if you don't have any?
That's
Well,
what I
No,
said.
I have them, just not good ones and healthy
Oh,
ones.
okay, got you.
Oh.
But then I also
But-
said-
But then why would you be giving advice on relationships if you have bad ones?
On what not to do.
Right.
That's what Cristian said.
Yes. So then we consolidated together, and then Cristian said, why don't we talk about business and how the relationships in business intermingle in together?
Damn, that's good.
And I was like,
Damn, that's good.
I knew Christian was drunk at this time because he usually does not say those.
He doesn't agree with you.
No, he usually doesn't have those epiphanies when he's sober.
Okay.
But when he was drunk, and was like, you know what, Christian?
I was not drunk.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was
Inebriated.
feeling good.
You were feeling good. You were feeling the vibe. You
Yeah.
had this epiphany.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Christian, that's a brilliant idea.
And his head got this big.
No, he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
And then the next day, he's like, so what are we going to do about this podcast?
Excuse me, Steven. We need to be specific because today's topic is communication.
Right.
And you said he was drunk. He goes to sleep and he wakes up. So you need to like
Expand.
You need to
Expand on that.
Explain to people.
After I dropped him off.
There you go. I went home and you went home, and the next day we hung out. Yeah.
Well, I didn't say after I rolled
Listen,
over.
dude, the way he makes it sound, he's like, yeah.
Stayed the night.
He
That's
said
what I
so-
got out of it.
yeah, right?
I got that out of it.
He said, yeah, I mean, it's
That's for
2020.
next episode.
It's 2024, so we have to be very specific.
Yeah, earlier I was telling him they were coming out of the closet. So yeah, it was kind of it.
That's because I was getting. That's because Christian was getting some cords and stuff out of the closet. I think he was coming out of the closet.
That's weird. I don't know why you guys went there, but yeah, you said Christian was drunk. He had an idea, went to sleep,
home.
woke up in the morning. I was like, whoa, like separate what happened between the idea and the next morning.
Well, usually our audience would understand that two men that dropped you
Not
off.
necessarily.
Okay.
We're in 2024.
All right, so let me make sure I communicate.
Yeah.
For all those other viewers.
Yeah.
So after I dropped him home, and he went to bed, and I went home, and I went to bed. Then the next
Now
day,
you're being super specific.
now the next day, he said, "What are we gonna do about this podcast?" And I said, "Christian, you don't remember your great
idea?
Great idea."
I thought he
He's
was
like,
being funny. I'm like,
he's like, no, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. And I said, Christian, you had this great freaking idea about what we should do.
I thought he was
He's like,
being sarcastic.
Because yeah, he's usually like that.
yeah, I am. And I said, Christian, you had this idea about, and the concept we
We should
said,
have taken ownership of the idea.
no, I always give Christian credit for where his credit's due. He doesn't get too much credit, but you always got to give him credit.
Dude,
where
I
it is.
love it. I love it.
But,
Turn the lights on.
Oh, yeah.
but he had this great idea.
Yeah. I love Sandra's like, squirrel.
You did want a woman's perspective, right?
Yeah. Sandra's going to turn, let there be light.
And the Lord said,
Yeah.
let
Nice.
there be light.
Oh, yeah. Now we can't see each other on the phone, but hey,
That's okay.
oh, that's good. I like that. All right. Not the other way, because this guy starts explaining
There
to
we
me.
go. Now I'm good.
Right there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, like at night, he doesn't want to do that on my bed lap. I mean, if
You slept together, right?
if I did go to the, I mean, assuming that I did go to the house,
Assuming that you slept in the same room,
yeah,
in the same bed.
Anyways,
Got it.
No, it's usually in the car.
and speaking of which, we need to do laundry. We need to take our pillows too. Anyways, what were we?
So anyway,
But
we
he had
had
some
this great
shaky
idea.
fingers. Oh, yeah. So he had this great idea. I told him, and I said, hey, he had no clue what it was. And I said, Christian, you had this idea about how business and how relationships and how they intermingle, and we should target
With
that.
communication.
And I was like, Christian, that's a great idea because that hits business owners. That hits the single person that maybe wants to be a business owner but hasn't made that leap of faith. But I was like, that's a great idea. So we came up, we did a dry run.
Oh, now we came up.
Because we were in a French restaurant when he took me out the next day.
Okay, gotcha.
French kissing.
Go ahead, baby.
French restaurant.
Right it.
Anyway, and I was like, this is a great idea. And so that's why we're here.
And then I think.
But
also-
wait, you missed something.
what's that?
Where do I come in?
Wait.
No, we're not. We haven't missed it. We're leading up to
Yeah,
that.
we haven't got to it yet. So the other thing that you also mentioned that was very truthful was like, what happens to business owners like you that is single? What happens to business owners like myself that are single? What happens to other female business owners out there that are single? We talked about how difficult it is to not be equally yoked in a relationship, like a romantic
Yeah,
one,
that's hard.
and also in business. Because there's a lot of women that I'm attracted to, but they are, in no disrespect, love you for whatever path you choose. But I don't think a woman that is a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 would necessarily agree with some of my schedules and the things that we need to do in order to keep our business alive.
Agreed.
And in fact, that happened just you asked me this morning because I was supposed to have a date with a female. Yes, a beautiful female. I was supposed to have a date with her, and Steven asked me, how did it go? And I was like, man, this is the second time like she reschedules. If it's not important, I'm dropping it. And he was like, whoa. And he brought something to perspective that made a lot of sense. He says, Cristian, you have to understand she's a business owner. She can't control her schedule. She's not like clocking out at 5 and she's going to go meet you. And I was like, man, you're right. Like I should give her another opportunity, give her another chance for us to go out and have a date and not hold it against her because we've been missing each other. Yeah, she's a business owner. And in fact, she did tell me that the reason why she was staying behind was because she actually had to let someone go, part of her staff. So she needed to fill that void. So you're absolutely right. Like we're going to talk about relationships, romantic ones. We're also going to talk about business and how they work, intermingle, work well together. How Sandra came into the mix was actually Steven's idea.
Thank you,
Steven.
It's a great idea. How much better idea?
Thank you.
I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see how that went because it was my idea. But yeah. So I was talking to Sandra, and I came to the office. And I was like, "Hey, so what's you?" And we kind of caught up on business and life. And I said, "Hey, I think I'm going to start a podcast." And she says, "Well, I want to be involved too." And I was like hesitant, like I was like biting my lips, going, "Yeah, well, what happened was," I'm just kidding. No, Sandra had been by the way, it's not our first rodeo. We've had a couple of shows before. One of the longest running one of the longest running shows on the radio. That's a what do you call it? Say that 3 times. Say that fast. That's a tongue twister. Tongue twister. Yeah. See, that's why we got Steven here. So
We said at the same time.
we had
Big ones.
¿Qué pasa San Antonio? What's going on San Antonio? We had that for a while. And both Sandra and I have had that itch. And her sister Mari too, Mari Gonzalez. We also had that. Like we wanted to do it. It's just conflict of schedule, business owners, business, too much going on. And we just didn't find the right time. But someone at my professional setting said, Cristian, you have this great personality. Like you belong on a podcast. And I was like, I'm going to play that back. I could tell you guys did something. Yeah, sure.
Did we say anything?
I could tell in that camera.
We didn't say anything.
So
I don't think
they said, Cristian, you have a great personality. You're amazing.
Were they
and you have this sexy.
Oh, that was.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a total lie.
That was now.
That was a lie.
I'm adding too much to my tacos.
Yeah, we already discovered
But then about 2 days later, someone told Steven, said, I'm going to tell you.
One of my clients.
Exaggerate.
That pays me.
Okay.
that. So, do you have a great voice?
Right.
He said, he was calling actually to complain. And it was like, hey, when is this going to be starting? And as soon as I answered the phone, he's like, man, I was calling to complain. But every time I talk to you, you just have this voice that's just mesmerizing.
Mesmerizing voice. I don't hear your voice on the phone.
It's
mesmerizing.
It's very mesmerizing.
It's not a nice voice, not a good voice, but a mesmerizing voice.
Yes, that's right.
Wow. Okay.
So client says, you know what you need to do? Because he's like, every time I talk to you, I feel inspired. And I'm like, wow, that's great. Well, my bill's due in 2 days. I'm still inspired.
Are you inspired to pay me now?
Yeah, right away. But he was like, you know what you need to do? You need to start a podcast. And I was like, that's crazy you said that.
Hey guys, you know I'm a jokester, right? When he said, I feel
really?
Yeah. When he said, I've been inspired, and you were like, what? And he says, to fire you. No, go ahead.
Anyway, I said, you know what? My friend said he wants to start a podcast. He goes, you need to
what friend?
You.
Let's not use that word in public, bro.
He didn't say boyfriend.
My
he said friend.
My associate?
He said my friend. He didn't say boyfriend.
Okay.
He said my friend. You are a friend.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
my
also a
friend
boy.
too.
I'm a man friend.
Man friend.
Instead of boyfriend,
That
man
doesn't
friend.
sound good.
Yeah.
Man
That's
friend sounds even worse.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Man friend.
And then back to at hand.
Stop it. Stop.
Do you want to hold hands?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
I thought with you. No, I was like, yeah. No, hey, I wanted this. I was like, yeah. What happened? Okay, now
He likes you. So client goes, you need to start it. I told him that we were starting it. And me and Christian had already thought of the concept, and I told him what the concept was. It's like, great idea. So at least we have one person that'll listen.
I'm sorry, what?
One person that'll listen. One client.
Okay, the client. Does he know we're doing a...
He knows. And I
Okay.
told him that we would do it.
So on the last episode, the
First episode,
trial,
the pilot.
the dry run, the pilot run. See, I don't like the word pilot because I think pilot is when you're going to do one episode and you're going to present it to Nick.
Well, we don't know what's going to...
Yeah, we might. We might be that good.
Lesson for me. I should be more optimistic.
Exactly. Manifestation.
Manifestations.
Haven't you heard of that?
Another big word.
Big Bird?
Big word.
Oh, Big Bird. Okay. So speaking of which, the last time, like it was all improv. Like there's no scripting. We don't know what we're talking about. And I asked, "Are we going to reveal the name?" And he said, "Yeah, we're going to reveal the name." I'm like, "I don't think we should. I don't think we're ready. Do you think we're ready now?"
Well, we haven't said why we're going to bring Sandra,
So you wanted to wait until we brought Sandra on.
because this is the total show. It takes all three of us to make this work.
What if she doesn't work out? And I need to,
Be fired.
Well, then that's
You know what?
a
You
key to the
can't
show.
fire me. You can't fire me.
No.
I will quit before you fire me.
Oh, but winners
Just
never
saying.
quit and
And
quitters never win.
Amen
So
to
we're
that.
stuck with each other.
That's right.
All right. So are we going to drop the name?
Sure, we'll drop the name.
Go ahead.
So the name of the podcast is called Relate to Elevate. Because what we're hoping is that business owners, if you're single, business owner, if you're married, if you're not a business owner and you're just wanting to excel or level up in life, that hopefully you can relate to our stories that we're talking about and relate to some of the conversations we have, and that we all elevate, all of us, each other in our little environment.
Damn, that was good. I could have said it better myself. I mean, I could have, but I don't want to say with thunder right now. Anyway, that was good. Relate to elevate.
And in all of that, they wanted to have a woman's perspective. So here I am.
Because Christian wasn't giving two
Here I
female.
am, the one
Because
that
Christian
you
didn't
love.
want to be the female.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a cute female. Let's face it.
In 2024.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Put a little wig on him. I've seen him, Sandra.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
You've seen
No.
him dress up?
I've seen him dress up.
I got nothing for that. Because I visualize myself putting a wig on. That's weird. Anyway, so
With a beard and everything?
today's topic
Yep.
is, because this is important both for romantic relationships and business relationships.
Okay, talk.
Today's topic is communication.
Communication.
Now, even though it sounds like a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Cliche.
No,
Yeah, it is a cliche.
okay. But it's also common sense, right? You would think that. You would think that.
Common sense is not very common anymore.
Exactly. You would think that having good communication skills would be good for your romantic relationships, your friendships, relationships with your family, and also with business. But I guess the question is, how do we communicate? Where do we learn the skill if we don't know what we're doing wrong?
Well, we have to read books. That's important.
Okay.
How to Win Friends and Influence People. Not in great book.
Very good book.
Self-development. Okay. And then I would also recommend like Toastmasters. There's networking events where you can go and they'll teach you how to speak, how to properly speak to a group or in public. But I think we need to have some sort of audacity. We need to have some sort of honesty where maybe a friend can tell you how to better communicate both, again, romantically and also in business.
But how do you know if your friend really knows what they're talking about?
Maybe the level of success, maybe where they are with their personal relationships. You know what? And I'm glad that you said that. You know, one of the things that bugs me the most in San Antonio is when someone comes up to me, "Hi, I'm John Smith. I'm a wealth management strategist."
Dumb man.
You look broke. What do you mean? I'm serious.
Wait,
I don't mean to.
what wealth are you managing?
Listen, yeah. Hey. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, yeah. You wealth manager? How old are you, man? 19. Straight out of high school. It's my first gig. Like everyone's a wealth strategist, financial planner, financial advisor. It's like, look, unless you've been there and you got the t-shirt, then talk to me, right? Because
That's true.
right. So you got to be able to inspect what you expect. So I can't tell you that I'm on
The walk and talk the talk.
exactly. So we need to look at who is good with interpersonal relationships, both in business and in pleasure. And if they're willing to pour into it and give you some advice, then we take it.
So basically go to networking events and search out some people that you would like to be like and kind of hang in their back pocket.
Yeah. Because they say that we're the average of the 4 people that we hang around with. If we hang out with 4 broke people, we're going to be number 5.
Yeah.
If we hang out with 4 successful people, millionaires, something's going to rub off on us
Absolutely.
where we end up taking on some of their characteristics, their values, their habits, and we end up being like them. So that's very important too. I need to really think about my friendships and the people that I hang out with.
Christian, I'm sorry.
You see what I did there? He caught on right away.
Well, he wasn't looking at me.
No,
I was looking at him.
I was going to walk you out the door.
Oh, shit. I thought you were leaving.
No, it's going to be a Sandra show.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, then. I'll just take my... Oh, wait. You register most of the stuff. I'll stay.
But yeah, it's funny that you talked about communication because I've recently, after our pilot that we had, we talk about pilot? Toxic stuff.
Toxic people.
Yes. And what I told, and I think what I loved about the show and what we're doing, I hope what we bring to the audience, is that I was able to take an introspective look at myself and what I'm doing, what Christian gave the advice. And we walked through it, and it was more therapy. And yet, as soon as we got off the air, cut those relationships because I saw it's toxic. This week, we went through I had an issue with the client or a friend that the communication wasn't as effective. And they accused somebody in their organization, accused me of something. And he and I didn't have that communication to confront each other.
Open lines of communication.
And to basically say, hey, this is what I have heard. And then let me chime in and say, oh, well, this is what the truth is. And so what we both did is we went to our separate corners, didn't confide until the stuff hit the fan.
Ding, 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 ding.
And then we went and talked. But that's why we went to communication.
I don't know.
Open lines of communication are very, very important. Like with me, I am the same person here and everywhere else. I say what I think and I think what I say. And then sometimes, unfortunately, that gets me into a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? If you want to know the truth, if you want me to tell you how I feel and the truth as I see it, then come ask me. If you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask me. Because, sometimes it hurts.
And people aren't ready for that bluntness.
And I'm very blunt.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm very, very blunt.
Yeah.
And Cristian will know that. And he knows that I've gotten myself in a lot of trouble with it. But,
Let me tell you, Sandra, come over here. Sandra, don't hear them. Be very careful. Filters.
I don't
Ooze
have
out.
filters.
Ooze out.
I agree with you. I agree. If we lived in a world where nobody really cared about what they said, I'm going to go back to even as a child. As a child, of course, here's where I don't have any children, so take my advice for what it is. But as a child is the most innocent and will say whatever they feel right then and there. But then as an adult, as you're parenting your child, I would assume you're saying, you can't say that. You can't say that. So we're teaching the child to not be so open and honest. And as we grow up, I think that's kind of, progresses. But I'd rather be with a child to express what their honesty is because it's so just pure and just raw and to the point. And I love it.
That's good. Did you know that most of our communication is not actually done through verbal, audio, speaking, or listening? When we do like networking events, I'll give you an example. This young man today came up to me. I was at a networking event and he came up to me. He's like, hey, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I was at the networking event because I was going to meet Steven there, not because I wanted to network. And he's like, he's young kid. And he's like, no, so what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in business. Like, I didn't really want to talk about it. And he should have, the cues that I was giving him with my facial expression, my tone of voice, body language, he should have understood, like, stop pushing, right? He said, no, but what do you do? And I said, fine, marketing, sales, coaching, training, Wyndham Resorts, and, business cards, flyers, brochures, digital. And he was like, whoa. And then he tried to stop. Well, now you got me on a roll, my friend. Now you want me to talk? Now I'm talking. And he tried to slow me down. Well, no. I said, well, you wanted to know. He says, yeah, but it's just that it's a lot. I'm like, you did ask like 3 times. He says, yeah, well, let me tell you what I do. So he cut me off right there. So I say, I work for his nonprofit organization, and what we do, blah, 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 blah. And we're going to be at Top Golf, and you can rent a bay for like $1,500, and you and your friends, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm just like, okay.
I didn't ask you.
1, 2, by my body expression and my facial expression, he should have known that I wasn't interested. And I was like, you know what? I apologize. I'm not interested. What does he do? He says, why not? I said, because I don't have an interest. And he says, don't you want to network with people? And I said, I've been networking in this city for the better part of 10 or 15 years. And I pretty much know a lot of people, at least the important ones. And they know who I am. I don't need to network. And I know it's a little bit of cockiness in me, but I needed to just kind of cut him off. And he says, well, if you don't want to network, what are you doing here? Oh, dude, that rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, first of all, I ignored him and I looked over this way. There was another gentleman there. He was watching the whole interaction. I said, number 1, if someone doesn't ask for your product or service, don't offer it. Number 2, don't send at a networking event. And number 3, when someone tells you they're not interested, leave it alone. Now you're being combative like this young man here. That man turned red. He got mad. You know what? I don't care if he got mad. Like Sandra said, you want to come talk to me when clearly I don't want to talk to you. And you want to talk about your product and your service and how much it's going to be. But I'm telling you I'm not interested. Leave it alone. Now you're pushing. Now what you're doing is repelling me even further from what your goal was for me to give you $1,500 to go play at Topgolf. Stupid.
So at that point, if you're out there networking and you notice that somebody doesn't want to talk to you, you just move to the next person. That's all you had to do. Because you know what? Next time you want to do a nonprofit organization,
I'm not going to go.
You're not going to go to him because he just vomited all over you with words.
Nice.
And you're just like, oh, wait, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So communication is very important. And non-communication is very important too. When you see that this person is not interested, you should shut it and move on.
I know when someone wants to talk to me before they even talk. Because I have room awareness. I'm watching the floor.
Yeah.
If someone's looking at me, they're getting closer and they're looking at me and they're getting closer and they're looking at me. Even if I'm having a conversation with someone here, I'm watching the room. I'm like, oh, this person's getting closer, closer, closer. They want to talk to me. And if they're going to stand there awkwardly and I don't want to talk to them, I'm going to continue this conversation. If I'm interested in possibly why or curious they want to talk to me, I'm like, oh, and what is your name? Let me introduce you to Sandra. Sandra, this is da-da-da. So like everyone asks, what are you doing, right? I typically don't lead with that because I don't want to be like everyone else. I typically
Tell me what you do.
organically, what do you do? Right? So there's also a way where we can, why that?
Because I'm just thinking of the other event that we were at.
What other event? Tell us.
The other event we were at.
Especially if it's funny, say it.
No, it was just funny how we tried to repel individuals
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
and they didn't get the hint. And you started asking awkward questions.
I don't remember that.
So Sandra, like for example, we have our backs turned.
No names because we run in
No,
circles.
we're not.
Yeah.
Backs turned. Me and Christian's right here like this. And a person comes like Chris, like where he's at, and goes, so what are y'all doing?
Then you have your backs to him?
He's got his back. He's turned toward me. I'm turning. I already don't want to associate. And what are y'all doing? And we just don't say nothing.
Didn't answer him?
It was a female.
Oh.
And she's like, so we saw each other. Christian turns, but then starts asking, so how many tattoos do you have?
That sounds like me.
And the person goes, well, I think that's a personal question. Okay, so how many do you have?
I can see myself.
And then on this would have been to like, and she goes, we need to keep it business. He goes, well, I know a business that does tattoos, so how many do you have? So she does.
I think I vaguely remember that conversation.
So she goes and she shows him, she had a little tattoo. I don't know what it was. And then he goes, you need to get more ink on you. and I'm just.
She got a little offended by that, right?
Yeah, I think
what do you mean I have enough? I'm like, okay.
I think, no. What you said was, you look naked without any ink.
I did not say that.
Yeah, you did.
You had been drinking? Had you?
I had not.
No, I was perfectly.
Oh, that was perfectly sober.
Oh, so I was drinking and you weren't?
No, I was sober.
He was sober.
He was probably.
Tipsy. You
Yeah.
had to be tipsy to say that.
Yeah. No, I don't know, because we really were both trying to repel her. Because
She didn't get the point.
she didn't get the point. And he was trying to be so not offensive, abrasive, brash, that because she is very.
So she would feel uncomfortable
and saying I'm leaving. But she stood. She stayed there, and so the conversation persisted.
Can we bleep stuff out of this shirt?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You're making me look like it right now.
No. You were
No, you do it. You're making me look like a right now. Yeah.
See, you were closer to her, or I would have said the same
No,
things.
no, okay. I mean, it is what it is. But okay. Here's let me pivot to this because this is very important. You need to learn how to turn it on and turn it off. Because I don't know, like I know a few people in the networking circles in San Antonio. Every single time they talk to you, it's not the weather. How are you? How's family? It's always like, when I'm gonna have that meeting. Like, stop pitching me.
Or
I want to know
When
who
I'm
you-
ready.
I want to know who you are as a person. Let's get to know each other. Let's build some rapport.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
have a relationship instead of just constantly meeting. Stop with your service.
You know what I find is that a lot of times when you let people know what you do and you see them again, you just talk to them and you just see them again and if they ask you, you tell them, remind them what you do. But if they don't ask you, just
Don't say it.
Don't say it. If you see them over and over and over, right? You see them all the time, they're either going to know what you do or they're not, right? Or they're not going to want to know what you do. But if they're in your circle and you've already told them what you do, then they're more apt to refer you people if they know what you do and you're not after them all the time.
Communication.
And here's where I say, where I, unfortunately or fortunately, I have a photographic memory. So we can meet someone, know what they do, know their name, know their face.
Yes, fabulous.
Oh, it's great. So sometimes we're in a circle and I'm like, oh, I know. So the unfortunate part is I expect everybody else to have that same memory.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work.
Yes, I know. So this one person in general, came and then says, well, what do you do? So me, I'm like, I told you.
Dumbass.
Oh.
Next
Beep.
After the fact.
But I'm like, I told you. So then to me, I'm like, when you asked me the first time, you weren't listening.
Obviously.
So then why am I going to tell you again? So when
Because we forget.
I know.
And they've been to like 20 other networking events since the last time they saw you.
And the unfortunate part is, so she tests me, and I said, well, you do this, you do this, you work for this place, and you work for this place. And it was like,
Oh, I've met you before?
yeah. And I was like, then I turned a little bit more. So,
I did that to him.
Well, not every you have to.
I know. It's
You have to be empathetic and sympathetic to not everyone's has a photographic memory, right? But it goes back to communication.
Yes.
So, like, you need to understand, when to turn it off and when to turn it off, but you also need to get those social cues. When someone is not looking at you, they're generally not interested, they're on their phone, they're browsing the room, they're easily get distracted and move away from you. You have to understand that maybe they just don't want to hear your product or service. Maybe if you were more real and more genuine and we talked about each other, life, family, recreation, things that we like to do, what motivates us, right?
Family, occupation, recreation, message.
Yeah. 4. So family, occupation, recreation, message, and or money. Like they're broke, they want to talk about money because that motivates people. If they have money, you don't want to talk about money.
Sometimes when you talk about money, people get offended if they don't have it.
That's because they have a bad relationship with money.
Yeah.
And again, it kind of leads back into communication. I think communication skills are highly important in relationships. For example, do you guys remember back in the 80s when you needed to have the cojones to go up to a girl and be like, hey, what's your name? And because we were teens, how old are you? you have a boyfriend. Can I have your number? And then you would go home and then they expected a call from you, right? And you would be on that phone for like hours. I remember falling asleep on the phone, talking to girls for 3-4 hours, just falling asleep in the middle of the night. We've lost that.
Yes.
Now it's just texting. And texting is a bad form of communication when you're trying to say something. There's no facial expressions. You're not seeing them. There's no tonality. There's no voice inflection. There's none of that. There's just words.
I have been accused of being sarcastic.
But you are. But go ahead.
But wait a minute. Communication. I have been accused of being
Text me.
sarcastic by text when I'm not. Because I am typically sarcastic. You know this.
No.
And when I'm not trying to be, and I'm just saying something that I'm just trying to say, I have been accused of being sarcastic when that's not the case. I'm just like, no, that's really what I mean, But when you say it, like you said, when you say it on text, it's just words. You don't really have a tonality. You don't really have that attitude. You don't really have, all of the other expressions and emotions that come along with your verbiage.
You know what? It's going to come. This is going to sound a little weird. Someone that, Sandra, I was dating this woman on and off, dating her. And we got to the point where we were so bad at texting, like she'll get upset, I'll get upset. What did you mean? We end up arguing that we actually had a safe word. Our safe word was whiskey. So when things started to go south via text, she'll be like, whiskey, whiskey, whiskey. Meaning,
Call me.
you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. Let's not end up arguing about this. So it's sad that we had to get to that space where.
So why don't you just speak on the phone?
She's younger. She likes to text. Maybe I was busy.
Speaking of being younger, I'm not proud of this, but the texting, communication. So I've learned that the younger, under 30s,
Yeah.
when I'll say, want to explain something so that no one does get offended, but yet I don't want to read. It's too long. But I'm trying to tell you what I'm saying. It's too long. Keep it 1 sentence, 2 sentences.
Or just letters.
Well, no, I'm actually not proud of this. I took a class on how to text because
There's such a thing.
there is. It was,
Really?
yes, on how to
You need to
date,
take that.
a girl
he's
and
not
how to
aware.
text, and honestly, how to consolidate and what attracts a woman via text. I was
I
very
think
strange.
that was a very bad class because he still doesn't have a woman.
Yeah.
I just no. We
No,
just cut her off.
we
just cut her off at the toxicity.
You know what the funny thing is? Our last episode, he cut off his. I don't want to be judgmental to however you want to label her. I cut off my on and off
Relationship.
friend because as he says, man, I don't need that. Bleep it.
Toxicity.
Bleep it. I don't need that. Beep. Yeah, man, go beep herself. And I'm not going to keep up with this anymore. She can just be a little bit. Yeah. So that's kind of how it went
There's
down.
a lot.
No,
There's
no,
a lot of
but,
beeping
but,
around here.
but I think Steven was on the same page. Like, I said, you know what, dude? I cut her off. I blocked her. I'm no longer taking any of her calls or social media, everything. Because it comes a certain time where communication is key. Like, she was always very pessimistic. Just, look, my wrist, my ankle, my this hurts, my that hurts, I don't have any money. It's like, oh my God.
Lord have
stop.
mercy.
And I'm the complete opposite. And I'm like, dude, stop talking all this negativity. Like, it's just toxic, And finally, I was like, 6 billion women in the world. And I'm taking her. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. He's boring me with the communication here, so I had to answer some text messages.
Wow. Put me off at the end. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Wow, Sandra.
He's down.
Wow. Hey, Steven, can you turn off your mic real quick?
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
It's his mic, so he's sharing issues, so he can't really turn it off.
All right. So,
What's his mess?
communication.
Yeah, I had to answer some text.
What suggestions or advice do you guys have for people that want to be better communicators?
Well, I'm sorry.
No, I want the female perspective.
To me, I think texting for me, I guess maybe because I'm older, is not the thing to do when you're trying to build a relationship. Because again, back to what you were saying, the tonality, the emotions, everything is not in that. It's just words, and people don't get what you're trying to say in those words because a lot of times what you're saying requires some type of tonality, right? So
Right.
some tone. So if you can speak to a person rather than text to a person, that becomes a little bit easier to communicate that way, and that really gives you a better understanding of what you're trying to say between each other rather than the text messages that sometimes don't go anywhere and sometimes they get
Blown out of proportion.
blown out of proportion when you're not trying to be sarcastic. It looks like you're trying to be sarcastic or whatever it is, and that to me, that form of communication is a lot easier when you're actually speaking than when you're texting. So maybe speaking to each other more, either face to face or on the phone, is a lot better than trying to text each other and trying to communicate.
But I do miss the days when Christian said of being able to talk to a girl on the phone. You're there with your wired phone
Yeah.
and you're talking because again, I have that mesmerizing voice.
Yeah, yes, I'm gonna have to listen to your mesmerizing voice over the
Definitely.
phone
No problem.
because I've been told I have a sexy voice.
Well, I was a closer. I used to do investments over the phone. So I'm used to using my voice. Like you said, the tonality, the not making sure it's monotone, lowering it.
Inflection, yeah.
Yeah, the inflection, your cadence, all that stuff that's involved in just voice mechanics. But when you're doing that over text,
There isn't any.
you can't. And so it's hard.
He go back to talking to females over a long period of time.
That I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but now it doesn't happen.
Did you
It
ever
does happen.
Did you ever get
Correct
that? Did you ever get the yeah, baby, I love you. Beep, beep, beep. Hang up. Hang
Oh,
up.
your mom's-
Beep, beep, beep. Hang up. Migo, hurry up. I need to use the phone. Okay, mom, gotta go.
Oh.
Hey, Stacy, sorry about that. Let me call you back.
Do you remember when they're trying to call you and the line was busy?
Yeah.
Oh no! Do you remember when we would call the operator and say, "Can you break the line? Can you?"
What?
You don't remember that?
Damn.
I wasn't
Oh
that.
gosh, I'm that old.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Hey,
I just dated.
hey, Sandra. Hey,
Oh,
Sandra, back in the
my
day.
gosh.
They were like this. They were like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Choosy what?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna go ahead and break the line. No, we don't remember that.
No.
You used to call and you used to say, "Can you interrupt that call?" And they would get on the line and they would interrupt the call, and then they would say, "So and so is trying to get,
Sandra, were your parents, when they would get in the car, did they have to go date or something?
Now, I haven't heard of that.
No,
But I
we're not that far apart in age. We're not that far apart in age.
No, we're
But
not.
you and I were like, what does that mean? Break the call.
How old are you?
I'm 50.
How old are you?
35.
Plus how
What?
many?
So 40,
Plus
so
how
40.
many?
What
Plus
do
how
you
many?
mean?
Plus how
I'm not
many?
good at math. I'm 35.
Plus how many?
I'm not good at math. I'm 48.
You're 48.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're 48. I'm 56. So I'm the elder of
Yes, ma'am.
this room.
Yes, ma'am.
So I remember those things.
Okay.
So
I don't.
I might look younger than these two, but
That's true. She does.
She works at the med spa, so yeah.
that's
Of
true.
course, of course you would.
That's right.
Okay, so any other
So
suggestions
if
or
you need
advice?
to look young and you're old, you just come visit me at the
Great jeans and great products.
Here comes a shameless plug.
That's right. Shameless plug.
Go ahead.
Come here to the med spot and call us at 210-999-5023.
What's the name of the med spa?
And we are here at Evolve Med Group and we will take care of you.
What services do you offer?
What do we offer? We offer hair restoration. We offer.
Why did you make that hair for? Why did you make that hair for?
I got that
Yeah.
one. She already told me.
No.
Hair restoration.
No,
Then she said
she went like
the
this.
gym.
She went like this.
And then she said eating.
I said, Sandra, what do you offer? She went, hair restoration. All right, go ahead.
I did not do that. We do hydrofacials, facials, body contouring, regenerative medicine. That's very important. If you have pains in different joints or whatever, we can help you regenerate your joints with some regenerative medicine. We also have a clinical nutritionist here on staff, and also we have a personal trainer. We can help you lose weight with semaglutide and different types of peptides. So we also have a food line that is healthy eating prepared by an international chef. So if you're into needing to lose weight or just maintain what you have, we have that meal prep ready for you to just come and pick up and go and eat for the week without having to think about it and actually have some healthy, nutritious, and delicious food. I'm a great cook, right? But nowhere near to what the chef can prepare.
I mean,
You be quiet.
what's
He doesn't
great?
know.
What's the definition?
So anyway, if you need any of those services, we are here to help you. We have many other services that I'm not going to talk about because there's a long list of them. But just give us a call, 210-999-5023, and we are here to help you. Botox fillers and all kinds of fun stuff.
And I have taken advantage of semaglutide. Definitely I'm very pleased.
Tell us.
I went from 250 about 60 days ago to right now about 215, 210.
Thanks, Joe.
And yeah, so of course my the one that's on staff, then she's trying to get me into Botox because she don't want me to have the Ozempic face or whatever you saw. Still not there yet, but
Yeah, we'll get him in the hair restoration too.
I'll be rocking a full head of hair.
He'll be walking around with him.
And maybe that'll increase my dating
That's right.
because I won't have to communicate. It'll just be the nonverbal communication and my sexy person.
And your sexy voice
That
and
is
your
right.
debonair look.
Yes, like your personality.
Yeah.
So what do
He
you?
does have a really good personality, ladies. So if somebody's out there looking for a great guy, sweet guy with a great voice, you can talk to
Wow, sir.
There you go.
That's okay.
and my friend.
Forget it. I'm taking my mics with me, and what else belongs to me? The cables, and
I'll
that's it.
take my coffee from you.
Communication. Any final thoughts? Speaking of which, I do face-to-face marketing. I also do face-to-face sales. And one of the things that I do is I like to talk with my eyes, right?
That's important.
They also say that, if you're genuine with someone and you truly care about what they're saying, then your eyes will reflect that because your eyes are the window to the soul. What I'm doing now, like if you notice my head, look at Sandra, her head. If you notice my hand, different expression. So we are able to communicate with other things other than words. We mirror people, right? There was a young lady that I was talking to, and her and I would just gaze at each other's eyes, and there was so much energy there. Like we didn't even have to say anything. It was kind of creepy, but it was kind of romantic.
Oh,
Okay.
romantic.
And it was sexy. Like
How long did that last?
What did you say?
How long did his romantic thing last?
Beat me out. Ready? You mother beep, 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 beep. Because he knows how long it lasted. It was
2 seconds.
in and out. Yeah, I was in and out. But that's not the point.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The point is communication. Like
Yes.
you were able to.
Passionately communicate with their eyes.
Were you there?
I'm just
It was
saying
like-
because it sounded that way.
Pick up.
Oh my gosh.
Rosa, tú eres todo para mí.
With his sexy voice.
La novela mexicana.
Rosa Maria.
Rosa María.
Rosalinda.
Rosa María. Lupe Hernández González Martínez.
He goes
Yeah.
overboard, and then
Yeah.
that's what kills it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You saw that happen a couple of times.
Yeah, I've seen it happen.
Where like women are interacting with me and like
Then you're just-
they're into me and I'm into them, and then I say it too much and then they're like,
Yeah.
and
So
then,
you need to know.
and then I have my
Wait,
friend.
wait. You need to know
The cues.
when to turn it off. You
The
need to
cues.
follow those cues, verbal communication,
But you would
as
think
well as communication with your body.
that my friend, I use
Wingman.
that.
Wingman.
I'm great with him.
I would assume that he would be like, yo man, like stop. Right? No. He does
I'm a
that.
great wingman.
He always tells me after the fact, beat me up. He's like, you fuck that up. And I'm like, now you tell me, now that she's gone.
Well, I mean, I don't want to roll. I don't want to interrupt.
You should interrupt. I think if he's carrying
Fine.
it
Yeah.
somewhere, I think you two should have like a word
Whiskey.
that is
No, not at the bar because then I just order another drink.
yeah, like a safe word that you know that he knows that when you use that word, he's going down the drain.
Let's use hair replacement.
My hair is going down the drain. But I have seen it.
Have
I've
you
seen
talked
it.
about the hair restoration?
What, hair restoration?
No,
Oh,
I have
okay.
seen it with you. With your he's gelling really
Yeah.
good.
Jelly,
He's on his wave.
Yeah.
She's feeling the vibe.
Yeah.
I'm being a great wingman. Like I think we were at one place and she's like, "Oh, I like to karaoke." I was like, "Really?"
Oh, she
So
was.
I totally like to karaoke. And I go, "Look at this!" And I show videos of him doing his song. He has cowboy hat.
Yeah.
He's doing it. Of course, I did some coloring and some audio control. And he's just sound like a rock star. And she's like, "Wow, this is you. When do you go?" And he invites her. And then I go to the bathroom, and then she's gone. No, she's asking. Well, your friend said I should talk to you now. Like, what? Yeah.
I dismissed her.
And
I
I
don't know
go,
why.
why? I don't know. And then next thing you know, I'm like, she don't mind.
It was over. Yeah. It was over. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
If
Tier,
you're gonna
tier,
have a
tier.
wingman,
Tier.
you need to make sure that the wingman knows what your type is.
Oh, we do know that.
Oh, no,
Okay
wait.
then. So what's the problem?
Let's come back to that. So the woman that I want to date, and two times already, like she hasn't been available. Steven did mention something to me. I said, you know what? She didn't text me. She picked up the phone and called me.
That's
I'm
important.
sorry, this, that. Because she's our age too. She called me, "Hey, Christian, I'm sorry. Some things got away from me, blah, 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 blah." Which I found very respectful because someone younger would have been like, "Sorry, just can't make it." What do you mean? Like, I'm looking forward to this. What do you mean just can't make it? But yeah, that's very admirable.
Yeah, it was when you said, "Oh, I'm done. I don't want to do this." I was like, "No, dude. Like, she did X, Y, and Z. That's better than what we've had before for either of us."
Obviously, if she went that far as to call you and give you the outline of why she couldn't be there, she's obviously interested in you.
Baby, I'm sorry. I know you're a business owner. I love you. This is where you're coming out. I love you. I want to have kids with you.
Whiskey.
No, hair
restoration.
Because then Sandra, he's gonna say what the kids are gonna be named.
Yeah.
Then she's just like,
She's like, whoa.
She actually told me, like, when we met, she's like, "Okay,
yeah, she told you that.
we're going out. Just it's too much right now." And I was like, "Okay."
Because Sandra, he says, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Can you give me a minute?" I'm like, "Why?" Like, I'm like, I know that's your girl. Like, I'm not trying to step. Like, I'm being a good wingman on my phone. He's like, whispers in my ear, "Because I don't want you to see me getting rejected."
Talk about going in with the right foot, being optimistic and positive.
Wait, when you're
But then I told him, "Give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna ask her out." And then he says, like 10 minutes later.
So I go, I'm out. It's hot. We're in an event. It's freaking hot. I'm like, dang, this is hot. And I'm like, but I'm trying to be respectful because I know how he takes a long time to get to it. So I come back, and he still hasn't asked her.
oh my god, and he's all dressed. He's like damn.
Another whiskey, please.
So
Communication is key.
communication is key, and the cues you're
We both have to
I
learn.
went from cracking up to like, communication is key.
But the cues, the nonverbal,
Yeah.
like I remember her face when you started to go, "I'm going to do this." It was just too overwhelming.
Yeah.
And no one, I'm Sandra, correct me if I'm wrong, especially when you just meet a female, no one wants to be pressured or felt pressured and feel that, like,
walk away.
yeah, it's just like, you're moving too fast. I just like to smile. I don't even know who you are. You could be a creeper. And I just came over here.
You know, another thing is
For the record,
Sometimes-
we made out in the restroom before we started talking.
sometimes
Hurry.
liar.
I'm just kidding. By the
Sometimes
way, she calls me out, liar.
sometimes just because a woman smiles at you doesn't mean she wants to go out with you.
Amen. Dang. That's what he gets.
With all the servers, no wonder. All the waitresses.
Yes.
Oh well, the waitresses will smile at you because they want a good tip.
But he goes with his line, "So what's your name?" But then we're there next week. "So what's your name?" I'm like, "Dude, don't you remember?" And they remember
Sorry,
him.
we don't all have photographic
But they
memories the way you
remember
do.
him.
But wait, most of the waitresses usually have a name badge,
Or
depending on where you go.
ask your friend with the photographic memory and I tell you, yo,
Yeah, before
that
you
name
get
is,
there.
her name is this. And I already know their names.
Yeah, ask your friend. Dummy.
Mm.
Communication.
Communication is key. But again, just because she smiles at you doesn't mean she wants to go out with you.
Amen to that. I agree with that.
Why are you both looking at me?
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying because I smile at everybody. I do.
Smile at me. Up from squat read.
I do. I smile at everybody because it's just nice. It's polite. You know, you say hello, you're walking by somebody, if they make eye contact with you, you say, hello, how's it going? And you keep walking along. You know, sometimes they answer you, sometimes they don't. Usually they do. But that doesn't mean you want to go out with them. You're just being a polite person. And we're Texas. We're in Texas here. We're Texan. So we're polite.
I don't. Like, Christian's accused me of not being as outgoing. But yet he sees when I've met someone the other day, I'm like, hey, what's going on? It was a gentleman, but I know them. But I'm kind of, in a sense, if I don't know you, I don't want to touch you.
Rude.
Yeah.
How are you gonna get to know somebody if you don't talk to them?
I was about to
That's
say that.
why my dating is not bad.
I was about to say that.
I mean, because look, listen. I've been accused of talking to everybody. Like yesterday, right? I was with my friend. We had gone to the grocery store, and we had gone and bought all kinds of stuff. Because
Is this like a friend like me? Christian are friends, or is this a friend?
no, like you and Cristian.
Okay.
Okay, so he was preparing some food for. Listen, he was preparing some food for my other friend.
Dick.
Oh, and so we had all this stuff, right? And we had these big old pasta tubes, right? And the lady that was behind it, pasta tube, pasta tubes.
See what communication is important?
Communication is key.
Because then I asked, what if
Prostitutes.
this whole time? Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
yeah. What if this whole
hear
time
that.
she
Wow.
goes on, and in my mind I'm like, what is prostitutes? I thought it was smooth.
Dang, I didn't hear that. I heard pasta tubes.
Yeah, that's what
I
I said.
did,
Okay.
and I was like,
God, Christian.
Okay, Christian communication.
Whoa.
So we had these pasta tubes that were like this big, right? And this lady behind me, she says to me, what are you doing with those? I've never seen those. And I said, I'm not doing anything with them. He's cooking them.
Were you making manicotti?
I don't know what he was making. And so, no, they weren't that big like manicotti. They were like this big,
Okay.
like this big. And
I'm
I
familiar
said,
with the pasta tubes, not
Yeah.
the pasta.
and so she says to me,
hey, were you making cannolis?
hey, let me finish my
That's not
story.
pasta.
And so she says, my dream date is to have my man cook for me
Amen.
a beautiful meal,
Amen.
have him write a song for me,
Wow.
sing it to me, and play it on the piano.
Wow.
And she says, with candlelight, right? And I go, so why couldn't you do that? And she goes, first of all, my husband doesn't know how to sing. He won't write a song. He doesn't know how to piano. And last of all, he does not know how to cook. And I go, well, I said, maybe, we're in 2024. You can hire everything out. AI, you know, you can get a smart piano and he can sit there and pretend that he's playing the piano. You can have a microphone that adjusts his tune and all of that. Have somebody write that song for him. And he's for hire. You can hire the chef, right?
Nice.
And then you'll have everything that you want. And she starts laughing and she goes, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have money for all of that. I was like, okay, well, I can't help you there. I can't help you there. And so my friend says, do you know that woman? And I said, no. He goes, you just talk to everybody like that? I'm like, yeah, why not? So I guess I'm an over communicator, right?
See,
I
my
just
mom's
talk
like
to
that too. My mom is an over communicator. We're at Walmart and someone will be having a problem with their card. Well, you know, you didn't press this one. I'm like, Mom, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not an over communicator.
Not like that.
Yeah.
No.
So you gave her, but what she did, because here's the thing, I think you gave her something that she could aspire for. Because you know what? Everyone has to have positive elevation and everyone can get that. Like you said, don't look at the negative, look at the positive.
Yeah.
Because he can cook, maybe, or she'll learn. Maybe writing a song, you're right. I can do a whole song on AI. So if you really, or if that person is important, you'll find a way to please them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You need to find a way to relate to elevate.
Yeah, exactly.
Amen to
See what
that.
I did there?
Yeah, I see that.
Guys, final thoughts?
At the end of the day, make sure you share your thoughts, share them effectively, share them without filters, in my opinion. So that way your communications are straight and no one gets the wrong idea.
Gotcha.
Share communication without filters. You know, another thing you share without filters is pictures. If you're trying to get a date, just say.
Not my pictures. Oh, sorry, that one. No, I think both of you hit it on the nail, but I think one step before that is we need to ask that person if they're open for suggestion. Are you open for some coaching? Are you open for my opinion? Because sometimes, like what Steven said earlier in the show, we come from a place of giving. We come from a good place in our heart where we want to help someone to communicate better, but they may not be ready for it. They may not want to take your advice, your ideas, or suggestions. So I would recommend, for example, if Sandra was a bad communicator, I would say something along the lines. I would ask Sandra, are you open for some suggestions on the way that you're communicating right now?
And I would say, what the hell, Cristian?
Then I would leave it there because she's not ready.
What the hell?
But if she says,
why am I a bad communicator? What the hell?
No, it was just an example. It was just an example.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't ask. Here's what I'll say, what I've taken away. Because and this is going to be for another episode, I intend in like business to try to fix a business. But then I also look at some flaws in an individual and say if I could fix them. But what I've changed is when you try to fix or you try to change something, what happens? You're often left disappointed because not everybody does what you ask or what you think. So all I can say is what I do. I'm still going to communicate and not filtered. And whatever they do, I just hope to inspire them. And whatever they do with that, I wash my hands.
Yeah, I don't have my phone. It's over there, but I'm going to take notes. Number one, the first show that we did, both of you got ganged up on me. Number two, when I say final thoughts, I meant like that should be your final thought. But you guys are correcting me, so now I'm being bullied on my own show. I'm going to take those.
We're co-hosts.
I'm going to take.
We are co-hosts, not your show. We are co-hosting, right? We agreed on that at the beginning of the
Sergio
show.
called me a hoe.
And you like prostitutes.
Yeah, she's talking about prostitutes. So this has been an epic show, to say the least. I thank you guys for being on our show.
Thank you.
Yes.
That took a lot for him to do. Did you see that?
Yep.
Our show.
I got triggered. No, guys, no. I love to share the platform. I love the fact that this is our show. And these guys are here to co-host with me. So, guys, with that being said, let's go ahead and sign off. We want to keep this relatively short. Not necessarily short. We did about an hour, which is cool. So if you guys have a topic that you want to talk about on how we can better communicate, or maybe something else, how do we relate to other people to elevate our businesses and our personal life, let us know. Put in some suggestions. Let us know if you want to be a part of the show. We would love to have you on as a guest. We're also looking for sponsors too. So if you want to give your business some exposure, we're also doing that as well. Any final thoughts?
If you need marketing, talk to this guy.
And if you need hair restoration or the skinny shot and looking beautiful, talk to her.
And if you need brochures or other kind of marketing. No, I don't know what he does.
Wowzer.
He does all kinds of stuff.
Guys, with that, we're signing off. We're getting off the damn show now. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. It's been a blast. It's been real. It's been fun. Yeah, it's been real fun. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go shut those off, and then we are Dunzo. My friend says Dunzo.
Dice is on the beat.